What's going on, Vegas Nation? I'm your host, Cassie Soto. Mandatory minicamp is in full effect for the Raiders. The 3-day camp is the final set of activities in the off-season workout program. After that, the team gets a bit of a break for the summer before things really pick up in late July. Our Vegas Nation crew is in Alameda with more.
Thanks, Cassie. It's Heidi Fang, Michael Gehlken, and Ed Graney, and we are all here at the Alameda headquarters for the Raiders, where minicamp got underway on Tuesday. It will be a 3-day minicamp, Tuesday through Thursday. And the big news coming out of today, the Raiders will be on HBO's Hard Knocks. Michael, this is huge news. What can we expect to see with the team coming up here on Hard Knocks?
Well, I'm really confused. I don't know why HBO and NFL Films would want to see the Raiders. Once you get past Max Crosby, the rapping rookie, Antonio Brown, Montez Burfict, John Gruden, Mike Mayock, Napa's serene landscape for a franchise that this should be the final season it ever plays in Oakland before moving to Las Vegas. I think they have a staffer who can break dance. I think I saw that on Instagram. I don't get why the Raiders would be chosen to be on the show. I mean, obviously they are captivating. All jokes aside, this is a kind of a obvious choice. You almost thought, would it be this year, would it be next year? Ed, we talked a little bit about that, but they chose this year, and so it'll be interesting.
It should be. And Ed, we had John Gruden kind of make a joke that he's not going to talk to his brother, Jay Gruden, who's with the Redskins, again. That was kind of funny, but it was before it was announced. So what's your thoughts here on the Raiders being announced for Hard Knocks?
Yeah, obviously Jay Gruden didn't want to do it in Washington, so he just threw John under the bus. But I think it was always going to be them the last few weeks. Michael and I have talked about this. I thought for a while there it would be next year, first year into Las Vegas. You have to remember stuff about Hard Knocks, though. It's only training camp. So the only thing they could have gotten out of Vegas is maybe players moving into their new homes, deciding between Henderson and Summerlin or wherever they're all going to live. I mean, you could have had shots like that, but it's basically over after training camp and some exhibition games. So Michael mentioned a bunch of players, others, Darren Waller, tight end I'm writing about for tomorrow's paper, Richie Incognito. There are obviously personalities in this team that Hard Knocks is excited about portraying. I'm sure Antonio Brown will have 10 cameras in his face at all times in case something happens there. So not surprising. I think Michael has said it in the past. The marketing people love it. The coaches and players don't. So you go forward and you kind of bite the lip and you do it, and then you don't have to do it for a long time.
Well, you bring up Richie Incognito, and the offensive line should be probably a big focus of this show. Michael, you talked about Rodney Hudson earlier today with John Gruden and his contract coming up. What do you think will happen there where Rodney Hudson, that veteran center, is concerned?
Yeah, Raiders already have invested so much on their offensive line. Left tackle Colton Miller, a first-round draft pick in 2018. Right tackle Trent Brown, the highest-paid offensive lineman in NFL history. Well, in the middle of it all is Rodney Hudson. He's really the cog. He's also a guy who's going into the final year of his deal. And so Rodney Hudson, who's fresh off of graduating with an MBA, a pretty impressive deal where for years, dating back before his Raiders arrival in 2015, he was doing these online courses in the offseason to ultimately achieve his MBA. And so credit to him for having done so. But he's also, from the football standpoint, he's due to for a business move here with that contract expiring. So Hudson has been a participant throughout the spring. He's playing the team guy that he has been all along, but with hopes, of course, that be it before the NFL Films crew arrives in training camp or perhaps while the cameras are there, before the season at some point, will we see Rodney Hudson get that extension, add that to the list of storylines for Hard Knocks.
All right, Ed, you wrote about Darren Waller coming up in your column for the paper tomorrow. Darren Waller has some huge shoes to fill with the absence of Derek Cook from this team. What do you think about him as a tight end and his possibility of filling into that role?
Well, he has a chance to be the number one guy. I mean, Jared Cook last year, he's now with the Saints. Career highs in catches, touchdown catches, yards. As Mike reminded me earlier today, a lot of it had to do with the injuries of wide receiver, but he still put up numbers. Darren Waller, well-traveled guy. Everyone knows about his past. Twice suspended for substance abuse, twice suspended in the NFL, twice suspended at Georgia Tech. He's had issues staying off marijuana. Now he says he looks in the mirror every morning. He's a different guy, so he'll get the chance to prove it. John Gruden believes in him. They've given him number one spot for now, and we'll just have to wait to Napa to see if he follows through. But he has a huge opportunity with those new wide receivers on the outside to probably be, a safety blanket for Derek Carr all season. So we'll see how it happens in Napa.
All right, and we will all be out there in Napa again when the training camp gets underway at the end of July. For Michael Gehlken, for Ed Graney, I'm Heidi Fang. Back to you, Cassie.
Thanks, Heidi. For continued Raiders coverage, head on over to ReviewJournal.com for more. For our Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. Thanks for watching.